Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us for today's webinar, How to Keep Loyal Clients Happy While Attracting New Ones. I'm Heather Frechette-Crowley, the Director of Product Marketing here at CPA Site Solutions. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to review a few housekeeping items. First, all attendees are currently in listen-only mode, so if you have a question at any time throughout the webinar, please submit it via your dashboard, and I'll take those at the end. I also want to mention that this webinar is being recorded, and you should receive a link to the recording within 48 hours. So thanks again for your participation. Here's a quick overview of what we'll cover in the next 30 minutes or so. I'm going to start by talking about the value of client retention and how to determine what your average client's lifetime value is. I'll then go into 3 key elements of client satisfaction, and then we'll talk about ways to build client trust both online and in person, as well as the importance of your firm's reputation. Before we close, I'll go over the benefits of client loyalty programs, and then, as I mentioned, we'll wrap up with Q&A. So let's get started. First up is client retention. As any business owner knows, loyal clients are certainly worth their weight in gold. However, most firms focus the majority of their resources on attracting new clients. And don't get me wrong, while new client acquisition is certainly important and should never be ignored, it shouldn't come at the expense of keeping your current clients happy. So when you look at the numbers just here on the slide, it's apparent that it's less expensive, more profitable, and frankly easier to retain clients than it is to acquire them. So just be sure that you're not only focused on acquiring new clients, that you're also keeping those current clients happy. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you haven't done so already, now is a great time to really determine your client's average lifetime value, okay? This number is really going to help you with any of your strategic business goals. So it will help you determine how many clients you actually need in order to meet your revenue target. It will help you to determine if you're keeping clients long enough to actually realize their full value potential. And you can see the formula for the average client lifetime value on the screen in front of you. It's important to remember that there's more to determining the projected lifetime value of a client than just the direct revenue that he or she contributes. So to get an accurate reflection, you also need to include the annual value of referrals that come in as a result of a satisfied client. So as you can see here on the screen, you would take your average annual value of a client, the revenue that they bring in each year, multiply it by the average length of client relationship, and then add in the annual value of any referrals they bring, and that's going to give you your client lifetime value. Now, there are 3 main elements of client satisfaction that we're going to look at. And, well, a number of components play into client satisfaction. As I said, there are really 3 main pillars, and those are cost, convenience, and consistency. Well, cost has always been a factor. In today's era of consumerism, it's really important to address it head-on. Otherwise, it quickly becomes the elephant in the room. So we suggest being upfront and clear about your rates so that there are no surprises after the fact. It's also helpful to point out that cost is not value, okay? Cost is what you pay for a service, but value is what you get in return. And to the extent that you're able to differentiate your firm from the competition, as well as from the TurboTaxes of the world, you really help your clients to see the value that you provide. Convenience, the second pillar. This has become increasingly important as our lives are busier today than ever. And while it's most likely not feasible for you individually to be available on demand, making it easy for clients to contact you via email, phone, or online appointment requests definitely help to up the convenience quotient. Another key way to provide convenience to clients is with secure online document exchange. So just being able to upload files and securely share them with clients can help to differentiate you from the competition. The third pillar here is consistency. So if your services are hit or miss, not only will clients be unlikely to recommend you, but quite frankly, chances are they'll be looking for another provider themselves. So the best way to really address consistency is to ensure brand consistency across all outreach methods. So from your website and social media profiles to email and phone outreach, be sure to project a professional, courteous persona at every touch point, okay? That's going to allow clients to trust that you're always going to provide that top-notch service. And while ensuring these key pillars are in place is certainly essential, it's really only half the battle. And the other half comes in communicating them to current and prospective clients, right? So you can have the best widgets in the world, but if no one knows about them, it's a moot point. So use your website. It's really a great place to showcase these convenience factors like your online appointment request forms and that secure file exchange. Your website is also the first place that prospects look for pricing, so be sure to share your fee structure there as well. Building trust, right? It's essential to creating lasting client relationships, particularly in the financial services realm where you're dealing with really sensitive personal information. And in line with the consistency pillar that we just discussed, it's important to portray trustworthiness at all client touch points. So again, from your website and social media interactions to in-person consultations and client meetings, you really need to interject that trustworthiness at each of these touch points, okay? So be visible on social media, frequently interact with clients and prospects, show them your personality. That really helps to build rapport. It helps to establish a relationship there. And in person, be sure to explain things in a way that the typical client can understand, right? No jargon. They want someone who's approachable and relatable. Overall, present your best self, right? So your website is most likely the first contact that prospects will have with your firm. And first impressions count, right? That's what Mom always said. It's interesting because a recent study by the Journal of Accountancy found that 30% of people searching online have ruled out a firm based on its website alone. So definitely want to put your best foot forward there. First and foremost, make sure you provide a user-friendly experience by being mobile-friendly. The majority of your traffic today is coming from mobile devices, so smartphones, tablets. You don't want to turn these people away right out of the gate. So it's an easy thing you can do. Be sure you're mobile-friendly. You also want to include straightforward navigation, okay? Don't make people search for information because they're more likely to leave your site than they are to take the time to dig around. It's also important that you project an updated image. So having dated photos or content does little to attract new business, right? When I go to my accountant's website and it says now booking appointments for the 2015 tax season, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me, okay? So be current. Because if I don't have confidence in your website, I'm certainly not going to feel comfortable trusting you with my financial information. So these points are really all related. Another way to ensure that your online presence is actually working for you is to optimize your online business listings. So you want to start by taking an inventory of how your firm is listed on various search engines like Google, Yelp, and Bing. And make sure that the contact information is accurate and that it matches across those listings, okay? Duplicate or inconsistent listings is certainly going to negatively impact your rankings and search results. So this is a pretty easy thing to do, but one that's often overlooked. Social media. Great way to build trust online. You know, social media has really brought client engagement to the forefront, making it easy to stay connected with clients year-round. And one interesting fact is that the average social media user is actually on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, for 90 minutes a day. So if your firm isn't taking advantage of this direct inroad to clients yet, you need to start immediately. Really, it's a great opportunity to share your firm's personality and highlight your industry knowledge. You know, create a dialogue, post answers to some frequently asked questions, and don't be afraid to ask your followers for their thoughts and opinions directly. The key to really effectively using social media is to make it as interactive as possible. You want it to mimic an actual dialogue to the best that it can. Next up is reputation. So you obviously know its importance, but we're going to cover a few ways that you can use your online presence to build and share a great reputation. Now, you know that the reach of the internet is vast, and use it to your benefit by harnessing the power of online reviews, okay? That's the best way to do it. 88% of customers said that they consider online reviews as powerful as a personal recommendation. So you need to make it easy for clients to share positive feedback. That's really the first step. Some firms are intimidated by this. They don't want to hound their clients, but just really start by asking. An easy way is to include signage in your office, letting them know that that you're online, that you'd love their feedback. Another way to do it is to follow up with clients at the end of tax season or at the end of specific projects, thanking them for their business and asking directly to leave a positive review and include links in there. I know that CPA Site Solutions websites all include reputation marketing, which features a client reviews page on your firm's site and also gives you control over which reviews are published, okay? So it's kind of reins it in a little bit, allows you to both offer your clients the ability to post, but to retain some control as well. And this is important because you need to remember that for every vocal client that expresses their opinion, there are dozens of others who are just as unhappy but just not quite as vocal. And while it may be difficult at times, listening to client feedback is really one of the best ways to improve your service offerings. Next up are client loyalty programs and how they can benefit your firm. So loyalty programs aren't just for coffee shops anymore, although I do love my Starbucks stars. If done correctly, they can really solidify client relationships. And there are a number of ways to do it. While high-end dinners may be in order for some key strategic clients, most of the time, simple professional courtesy will do the trick. So take the time throughout the year to check back in with clients via a quick email to see if you can be of further assistance. You never know what life events may have come up since the last time they were in your office. So this is just a great way to stay top of mind. Sending birthday or holiday cards is another way that you really stay top of mind throughout the year. I know that my personal accountant does this, and it just adds a personal touch and has really kept her in my contact list over the years. The other thing you can do is to implement a referral program, okay? That can really be used to help to incentivize some of your loyal clients. Now, it doesn't have to be complex, and in fact, we certainly recommend that you make it simple enough that it's easily replicated. And then once you do that, you have to go the extra step and make sure that your clients are aware that you have a referral program. So I think you'll be surprised at the number of clients that may just need that little nudge. So providing incentives can be helpful. So at the end of the day, really improving client loyalty will pay you dividends for years to come. It's important to remember the 3 pillars of customer satisfaction, right? Cost, convenience, and consistency, and to really strive to deliver these across the board. Remember to ask clients for feedback, and the trick is to really listen to their response and change accordingly. It's also important to engage with clients year-round, which helps you stay top of mind outside of tax season. So I know that that's a challenge that a lot of firms have. They're super busy between November and April, and then it kind of dies out. So staying top of mind through some of these suggestions is a great way to help round out that business. That concludes the presentation portion of our webinar. I know I threw a lot at you. We try to pack a lot into a pretty succinct time frame, but I'll now open it up for questions. And I did have a couple come through. The first question, is it better to not have a Facebook page? That seems to be a platform for customers to air their grievances. Well, I can certainly see how that makes sense, right? Let's just avoid it. Let's just not give them the platform. But the truth of the matter is, whether you're on Facebook or not, if a client is unhappy, chances are they're going to go on Facebook or on social media to air those grievances, right? By being out there, you actually create an environment for a dialogue. Even if it's just your firm responding, saying, sorry you had a poor experience, you know, and kind of take it offline from there. But not being on social media makes you look outdated, just for the simple fact that everyone is on there today. As I mentioned, the average user is on there 90 minutes a day. So it is a direct inroad to your clients. Certainly consistency with social media is key, so you can't just post once in a while and expect to cultivate a following. CPA Site Solutions has a social media offering, so we can certainly take that off of your plate. But just avoiding social media altogether isn't the answer. So I certainly would not recommend that. Okay, I thought I had another question in here. Okay, looks like I don't. Let me put up some contact information here. If you do have any questions, think about it after the fact, please feel free to reach out to us. You can go on our website. We have a lot of great information on there, a lot of white papers and blog posts that go into some more detail of some of the suggestions that we covered today. Also, before we close, I just want to give you a heads up that there is a survey following this slide deck, and it would be great if you could take it just to give us some more feedback of the types of things that you'd like to see in the future. And again, thank you so much for attending. Have a great day.